Whatever's heavy on my heart is always on my mind. Like Snoop's cannabis shredder, I'm always on my grind. They throwing shade cause niggas could never take my shine. I bring my watch collection on my jet, let me take my time. Like fine wine, I'm aging like Benjamin. Top 5, I'm worth mentioning. Bring me rappers, I'm lynching them. See the pendulum swing, Jesus with diamond thorns. Ludacris, swaddled in Gucci linens when I was born. Never been Illuminati, only Illuminati. And I only left with bitches when coming from any party. Now I'm married with kids, the evolution of life. Never been a clout chaser, never say shit for likes. R.I.P. John Singleton. You never have to flex when you earn every one of your Fast and Furious checks. Afro with the sideburns. Yeah, that's my signature. Addiction's on the rise. Comedians, check your temperature.
To LA, nigga. I've been doing shit. I was on That's So Raven. I was on all this shit. I did extra work. I was on all the little white people TV shows, the black people TV shows. I used to be on Dance 360. I've been out here. I've been telling jokes since 1996. 1996. This nigga said, oh, they wouldn't let her perform in the Comedy Store. That's true. They wouldn't let me perform on the white nights in the Comedy Store, but I performed on all the black nights. They wouldn't let me perform on the white nights at the Improv, but I performed on all the black and Latino nights. And so the rest of my...
Like, what are you talking about? They think they can rewrite history. Guy Torrey did a beautiful special about the Comedy Store and Fat Tuesday, where he said that Steve and Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish came through there and made... All lies. Steve and Cedric never performed at the Comedy Store at all. Tiffany was only seen at the Laugh Factory. In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club.
I didn't think this would happen, but this video keeps going and going. Actually had a conversation with a friend of mine where she said, you know, I think that video with Katt Williams on Club Shay Shay will get 30 million views. I was like, really? The Katt Williams interview with Shannon Sharpe has just crossed 30 million views. Woo! And it's still going. This thing is moving, man. Amazing. But it's also started a lot of controversy, and a lot of people wanted to, all of a sudden, had a lot to get off of their chest.
It's me, Guy Torrey, your guy, Guy Torrey. I need to address this Katt Williams situation, man. I normally don't get into stuff like this, but since my name was mentioned, I need to clear some things up real quick. First of all, I'm not taking any sides, man. You know what? He mentioned Fat Tuesdays. He mentioned my documentary on Amazon Prime right now, which is streaming strong. And he mentioned it was a beautifully done documentary, which it was. But we told no lies. And it was mentioned that in the Club Shay Shay interview that Cedric did not come through Fat Tuesdays, which is not true. Check it out. Cedric the Entertainer and Joe Torre, 1995, Fat Tuesdays. The Katt Williams himself, film director F. Gary Gray, Chris Rock, Guy Torrey, Cedric the Entertainer. Some closer looks.
Cedric the Entertainer!
Started out as one night.
I did get a little jealous, man. Katt broke the internet and didn't say my name, good or bad. I need the press too, nigga. Shit. Say something about me in there, man. Say something bad about me. I don't care. I got a special coming out. I need the press. Man, we did a movie together.
Amongst each other. Comics, we always had our beef amongst ourselves.
Right.
But I think that was the first time it was done out in public. Katt Williams versus Steve Harvey. So I was talking to Katt, and I asked Katt, I said, come on, man, what's going on? And it's two sides to every story. But Katt's explanation was, he was in a mall one time before we did Next Friday. Katt was in Next Friday.
Right.
And he was just a working comic. He had 2 sons. They were in a mall and they saw Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey was on Steve Harvey's show at that time. His son said, "That's Steve Harvey." Katt said, "Yeah." His sons wanted to go up and ask Steve Harvey for autograph. Katt told him, "Go ahead." This Katt story to me now.
Okay.
The boys went up. Steve Harvey, to make a long story short, rejected him.
Big time.
They came back to Katt. They said, he told us, he ain't doing none of that. And the boys went back and told him, Katt Williams, my daddy. And supposedly, Steve said, "Who the f*** is Katt Williams?" Which at the time was a good question. Katt told his boy, "Don't worry about it, come on." Fast forward a year later, when Katt has come to be the Katt that we know him. Yeah. Steve was having trouble selling tickets in Detroit. They added Katt to the show, turned it into Katt versus Steve Harvey show, and Katt went out and just ripped a hole in Steve's ass. So that's Katt's side of stuff. Yeah.
They can't always focus on the negative backlash. There's also been a lot of positive responses that have come out of this about how Katt operates and his kindness.
Early on, before really a whole bunch of stuff was happening for me, I get off stage and everybody like, "Man, good set, good set, good set." So many people saying that. Some girl came and put something in my hand and said, "Good set," but I didn't see her. I just heard her, and she walked off. And I thought it was like a phone number in my hand. And when everybody walked away and stuff, I looked in my hand, and it was $1,000. And then I looked out in the audience trying to find the girl, and I'm like, man, I can't remember her face, and I couldn't see her. And I was just like, who gave me $1,000? But anyway, I just was like, wow. And later on, about a month later, somebody told me that happened to them, and they said Katt Williams was in the audience. And I put 2 and 2 together and was like, wow, he did that to me then. He never tell you, he never makes it known or any of that. So if you ever around him, ask him. If you ever around him, ask him, how much money have you just given away? And I bet
the expectation is that behind closed doors, everybody gets along, everybody it's love. And no, it's not. They've always been competitive. It's always been, as far as I've ever witnessed in watching my dad, it's always been kind of cutthroat. Like, you'll have, people beefing, like, same as within your family. Just because y'all related don't mean y'all all get along, right? Comedy's no different. But for me, Katt Williams has my utmost appreciation and respect for giving my dad his props and his flowers. And I felt like it was genuine. There are some people who have given, my dad his flowers now that he's dead, that I'm looking at like, doggone well, he wasn't doing that when he was alive. And that, not just famous people, just people all across the board. As my dad used to say, you ever want to be loved by everybody? You ever want to be special? Just die. It's real easy to give lip service when somebody dies and they were so wonderful. And that's not how you felt when they were alive. But when Katt spoke of my dad, for me, I felt his heart. I felt that it was genuine, and I appreciate it. Again, it's been 15 years since my dad's been dead. If you follow me at all, I've said this repeatedly, like, it does my heart good to know that my dad was a stand-up guy, that the man that I knew him to be was who he actually was to people, because that's the thing. Like, we can love people and think they one way and then find out later, no. And I say, like, in 15 years, if he was an asshole, somebody by now would have been like, let me tell you about that mother. So that is not the case with my dad. Makes me so proud, and I just really appreciate what I believe the genuine love and respect that Katt Williams showed my father. It is so much appreciated. Much love and mad props to Katt Williams. I would love to sit down and just have a conversation with Katt Williams, because I think that is probably the most entertaining and gem-dropping conversation I probably would have in my life outside of conversations with my dad. So yeah, so that's my take. Like I said, probably boring, but that's what I thought. Again, much love and respect to Katt Williams.
By being with me all the time.
you know, she see my stuff, my new stuff, and all that kind of stuff. Especially when I do my single dates, and I'm trying to school her. You don't do your material around a lot of comedians. That's like stealing in front of the police. You don't do it. They mean well, but they sit on the side. Ooh, that's funny. Next thing you know, you see it on HBO or something. You be sitting at home. That shit's mine, you know? But ain't nobody gonna believe you. First come, first serve. You know? So when you do new stuff, you never, I'm telling you, for you comics coming up, never bring your stuff out in front of a house full of comedians. You will never work a lot. Especially established comedians like myself, you'll never work a lot. I got too much pride. I can't take something that ain't mine. You know what I mean? I can't go up and say something ain't mine. The kick about going up there is making people laugh about something that you wrote. It's easy to go out there and do somebody else's material.
Definitely disappointed that you have to get on the air and explain something like this, but you know, that's the truth, and I don't know what else to say. So there it is.
There's not much else to say. You know, it's indisputable that Katt played that role, killed it, built an entire career out of that one role that all of us look at and go, wow, that's absolutely amazing. But it's also indisputable. You were auditioning for Money Mike. We were told you had the role. You just had to read one more time, and then that switched up.
And the crazy thing about it is we had a conversation when it came out. He said a lot of this 12 years ago, and we had a conversation because I was on 14th Street in Atlanta, right by the Four Seasons Hotel, and I was driving down the street with my granddad in the car, and I saw Katt Williams going across the street on 14th Street, and I said, Katt, what's up? Whatever. I just wanted to make sure we was good. He said, come over and have a cup of coffee with me, because he was walking over to Starbucks. And I went over and he went in there and got the coffee. We was chopping it up or whatever. Just didn't even really talk about the issue or whatever. I said, hey, man, I want you to come out and say hello to my granddad. My granddad is a fan. He came out to the truck. I'll never forget, I was in my Ford F-150, and I came out and spoke to my granddad. He hugged my granddad and wished him well. My granddad was like, keep doing what you're doing, young man. My granddad was living at the time. And it was just me and my granddad in the truck. And we dapped it up, and that was it. I mean, that was it. And I thought that we were good. I didn't know that we had any issues. And if there are any issues or if there's anything that I've done, not only to Katt Williams, to anybody, I apologize, and I'm not perfect. I made mistakes, but I did. You know, that's just the honest to God truth. And I did audition for what I auditioned for, and I'm glad that the producers made that decision. And let me address all of the things with Gary. You can help me out with this, because, you know, comedy greats like Flip Wilson played Geraldine. Richard Pryor played some roles on his show. Jamie Foxx played Wanda. Martin played Shanae. I did. Bernice Jenkins, Tyler Perry did. Madea. It's a lot of comics and a lot of comedy greats that did characters for the sake of funny, for entertainment, for the sake of the laugh. And it has nothing to do with nobody's comfortable in the role. Nobody wants to put on a damn dress or comfortable in it, you know. That has nothing to do with my manhood being lessened for trying to play a role and trying to put food on the table for my family. Because
it's a prop. It's nothing more than a prop. It's nothing more than a way to get a laugh. I mean, back in Shakespeare's time, there were no females playing females' role. Every female role was played by a man. It's just part of it's part of an art form. It's part of what makes it funny. You bring the funny to it. I wish that I'm sure you remember. People don't know about this. The pilot that you shot for the Kings of Comedy TV show, Bernice Jenkins had a whole sketch with Madea.
Yeah, I did a sketch with Madea, me, Earthquake, Tyler Perry, Niecy Nash. We did a thing called The Pew. It's supposed to be like The View, but it was a church-based version of The View, and it was just comedy great to see Bernice Jenkins, the character, and Madea. And I started off doing Bernice Jenkins doing prank phone calls on the
as far as specific things, Katt was 100 on a few things. Most of what he was saying, a couple things, you know. I just want to clarify. When we bring in a new, you know, comedian, we do have them try out for different roles. So Ricky did give Money Mike a shot. But when we saw him and, you know, we kind of saw how he moved and how he was, you know, auditioning, we decided that he would be a better, you know, Santa Claus, which was, to me, the perfect casting. When we saw Mike, damn, I call him Money Mike. When we saw Katt, you know, when I saw him, I just knew that he was perfect for Money Mike. And, you know, Katt, you know, said he wrote his role, which, I mean, the role was written, but he enhanced it. This is why Katt was so dope in the movie. You know, Money Mike had a small role, you know, about as big as the Santa Claus role, but when we started filming, he was giving us such magic that we kept expanding his role, giving him more to do because he was on point. You know, when we shoot these movies, you know, for one, the scripts are fire, or they wouldn't even do it. The scripts are laugh out funny. But once we get what we need from the script, we let the comedians ad-lib, riff, you know, play with the words, do their thing. You know, we give them a take where they can, or 2, 3 takes where they can go off and do what they feel. You know, sometimes it makes the movie, sometimes it don't. You know, when somebody gives you jewels, you want to try to make sure that makes the movie. So in the movie, there's second thing I want to clear up. It was never, I would never shoot a scene in a movie, especially like Friday, where you actually see this happening on camera. That ain't my style. If you check out any of my movies, they're not raunchy. You know, we did a movie called Players Club where the subject matter was a little raunchy, but for the most part, even that, we left it to your imagination. So the only reason that kind of stuff is in the movie is because you have 3 villains in Friday After Next. You have Santa Claus, stealing presents. You have Damon, just got out of prison, sweating. Craig and Day for the rent money. And then you have Money Mike, you know, a pimp that treats his woman, you know, like a property. So Craig is always fighting the villains in the movie, you know, from the Joker Brothers to Debo. And so we already had Craig fighting Santa Claus. And the only real way to get rid of the other 2 villains was to have them go against each other. And the plier joke was always in the script, you know, it was never, we would never ever show that, you know, that's not my style if you look at any of my movies. So, you know, that was never a discussion, you know. We, you know, at that point in everybody's career, you know, we would listen to a certain extent, but we wasn't gonna change the movie for any actor, you know. We do what we feel, and if it was a scene, it would have been in the movie. There was no reason not to shoot it. But that's not my style. I don't even like that kind of shit in movies, on camera. And so, you know, that was, to me, a little discrepancy there. You know, Katt, he wrote a lot of his part because, you know, like I said, he was giving us jewels, so we were keeping the camera rolling. He was coming off the dome. He was coming prepared every day to steal the show. You know, that was his mission. And, you know, that's what he did, you know, with the movie. And it launched his career.
Oh, Katt also, he is funny, man. He also wanted to put to rest anybody questioning his speed. Katt is how old now? Katt is 52 years old and wanted to show you that he still got that speed, you know, that 4.4 speed he was talking about.
Yeah, put that on the comments. Yeah,
some people in the comments were saying they didn't know about the distance. If it was a true 40-yard dash, but hey, to be moving like that at that age, that's amazing. That's still amazing. All in all, we can see the impact that this interview has had on the culture, and you got to give shout out to Shannon Sharpe for putting together the platform where Katt felt comfortable to allow all this to come to the surface. Anyway, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. If you want to watch more, please watch one of these videos down below. Join the Patreon. Make sure you join the Patreon. The link is in the description. This is Faucette Media.